Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video. It is that time again. So, we have a massive difference for the tier list here. A major thing that we need to talk about right here at the start. And that is, this fight right here. The Goku and Frieza fight. Now, I've done a lot of runs in this in a very short amount of time. I've actually tested out quite a few characters. I've had some runs go good, so I've been able to see a lot of different teams, a lot of different setups, get a really good feel for this fight. I would argue from what I see from, this might, guys, brace yourselves, this might shock you. From what I've seen of Dokkan Twitter, they don't understand the fight at all. Who's surprised, man? There's so much discussion about this. I'm telling y'all. This is not the problem, this phase. It's not. It's definitely tough, right? They do 2.8 million damage. Once they fall below 50%, it is a true double, basically. They do 5.7 million damage start of turn when their HP is below 50%. Very crazy. At that point, even Beast Gohan with his active skill could be killed, right? It's something to factor in. But this boss is deep in the fight. They're pretty squishy. 100 million HP, it's just really not that much, man. They go down fast, I'm telling y'all. This fight, they are a bit of a gatekeeper, of course, because they have this right here. This is not a one-turn ability, by the way. This is every turn. They reduce damage lower than 10 million to 0. It's very toxic, but what makes this fight so difficult after doing a lot of runs, it's 17. This shit, this locking leading into dodge canceling is crazy. And these first 3 phases, every turn, they also get this 10% attack. In particular, I found this to be very nasty on the 17 phase. Because of his locking, that can slow you down. Plus his ceiling, this can slow you down. 17 is meant simply to just delay you. To really kind of like make you just take a ton of time, and then he does damage. And then, these guys are super in basically 3 million turn 1 once you factor in this. Shit just gets very scary. So this is definitely the hardest fight in the game. This plays a big role, I think, in how people should evaluate characters. I think you start with the hardest fight in the game because the fights only get tougher. Like once we start getting, like, they don't go backwards. So you do have to readjust how you view characters, starting with the toughest fight. Now, right now, we are in the best year in Dokkan history by far. By far. Now, understand global players, it doesn't feel so much like it, but we're in the best year of Dokkan history by far. Right? There are so many. This isn't even all the fights. Goku and Frieza would obviously be the #1 fight. Probably its own tier by itself, believe it or not. There's so many fights. So, it's like, remember, we're not just looking at the Goku and Frieza fight, and that's it. That's not, I think, the smart way to do things. I think the Goku and Frieza fight should be the #1 thing to look at, and it should factor in the most compared to any single individual fight. But Goku and Frieza is not the only fight. They've shown us, remember, they do a lot of mission-based content, worldwide download celebrations coming up. I would not be shocked if missions might be added to Cell Max, they might be added to Supreme Magnificent Battle Beast Gohan, maybe they're added to the memorable, fights like Beast and Piccolo fight. There's a lot of different things to factor in. So this long intro, I'm just starting by saying things have changed with the Goku and Frieza fight. Now, what we're going to do is I think we'll fill in spots 10, 9, 8, and 7 right away. So, what we have here, Broly, 10. I have Team Universe 7 at 9. I have Golden Frieza 17 at 8. And then we have Gogeta at 7. So, we got, again, Broly, Team Universe 7, 17 and Golden Frieza, and then Gogeta. Bam, 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 bam. So, I'll try and knock these points out. Broly helped significantly. Broly is very good for the Goku and Frieza fight. Broly being true type advantage and just the way he's set up. Once you get into his Blitz session transformed, Broly is above the damage threshold for Goku and Frieza. He's got 52% chance to crit built in. If it's turn 1 specifically, So they do not have this up. Broly can literally just tank in slot 1, eat their attack debuff, by the way, and still massively devastate their HP. Huge, huge. I've found that a rotation of Broly plus Cell Max will insta-kill Goku and Frieza. No questions asked. Slot 3 character doesn't even protect. I killed Goku and Frieza with Broly plus Cell Max, with Cell Max still only having 4 additionals on the table left over, right? Like, it wasn't even close. So, like, that matters a lot. But it does not change the fact that most of these fights are ending very quickly, right? Goku and Frieza can definitely go on because it's a 4-phase fight, right? If we look at this, you know, the Gohan and Piccolo fight goes on for 4 phases. Gogeta is a 5-phase fight, right? Like, there are some fights that could go longer where Broly could easily transform. But, I mean, we have a bunch of other tough fights where the difficulty level right at the start, I mean, this is real, right? These fights bite Broly so hard at the start. Base Broly at this point is fodder. Transform, he is a real problem. He's a real asset as well. But base, it's just not that good. And it takes so long to get there, right? Base Broly, if you cut out base Broly, this guy would skyrocket up the list, of course. But, I mean, we're looking at base Broly and transform Broly here. And 90% of the time, maybe 85% of the time, 80% of the time, you see base Broly out there, not transform Broly. That's the thing. Team Universe 7, significantly stronger defensively at the start of the fight compared to Broly. But the thing is that once you get towards the deeper 3 million super bosses, you know, they could start to cut this character up a little bit. But remember, this character is a support that is very, very, very difficult to get to be killed. So you have this right here, their Rainbow Orb support. Then, of course, you also have their 2-turn support. This shit is really nice. Really sexy support. It just makes this character be a very easy slot 3 character to run on the Universal Survival Saga team. You know, it's pretty easy to just run the 5 reps Universe 7 plus like JIREN or something like that. Very easy. I think that this character is just tremendous, right? A little bit stronger defensively than Broly. Broly towards the end of the fight can be stronger than them, but they obviously towards the beginning of the fight are much better than base Broly. 17 and Golden Frieza with the newest fight, I would bump them above Team Universe 7 because what is kind of the true scariest phase in the game right now is this, probably. This fight, this phase right here. And, I mean, they're true type disadvantage for in Universe 7. It's bad, right? Like, that shit is scary. They're living off of damage reduction. Golden Frieza in 17 basically cannot be killed in slot 2 or 3. Now, it is just slot 2 or 3. But even being invincible, borderline immortal, slots 2 and 3 matters a lot. I really care about a character dominating turn 1. And Golden Frieza in 17 can do this. Previously, I had Universe 7 above them because of their support. But now that there's like the hardest fight in the game, I mean, it's easy for 17 and Universe 7 to get destroyed in here, right? Golden Frieza in 17, to be fair, could be killed by Tech 17. So could Broly. So could base Gogeta. All these characters. Now, Gogeta, here's the thing about Gogeta. Gogeta has the same issue as Broly completely, right? He basically sucks in base. The thing about Broly, though, is that he is a Rainbow Orb Changer, which is right here. Rainbow Orb changing, of course, I mean, and he also transforms a full turn earlier than Broly. Simply put, to me, that's the biggest difference between them. But Gogeta is the best unit in the game, I think, for the Goku and Frieza phase. Probably, like, towards the end. Because he will target mechanic, draw it to him, 100% dodge it, probably 100% crit, wipe them out. I mean, I can't think of something better to finish this fight than Gogeta. Gogeta Blue is active. So, I mean, that to me makes this guy way more valuable. Now, people will say, but Broly is so good. Gogeta's better in the fight than Broly. Just flat out. Because Broly is really good. But Broly can't sit slot 1 if they're below 50%. Gogeta is untouchable against Goku and Frieza, right? So Gogeta is definitely better than Broly in the fight, for sure. Yeah, okay. So that covers these 4 right here. I feel good about this. Buhan drops off, not just because of this fight, which I think Buhan could struggle in here, but also this fight too. Buhan struggles in. The dodge canceling. Dodge is a huge part of Buhan's kit. And we have multiple killer dodge canceling bosses here. Huge issue for Buhan. And with the fact that Broly, he doesn't have the touch of death against Goku and Frieza, but it is very close. Very close. So I could definitely move Broly in front of Buhan, with Broly being probably significantly better in the hardest fight in the game than Buhan. So it's like you could go back and forth, because again, Buhan's tricks and shit in what I consider the 2 hardest fights in the game don't work as well. So it's like, if like, look at Android 21 last December. I was saying this over and over. 21 was not good in the hardest fight in the game, Fusion Zamasu, but 21 was great everywhere else. Buhan is not great in the hardest fight in the game, but he's not that great in the second hardest fight in the game either. That's a little bit different. So we could put Broly above Buhan now. Okay. Next is JIREN. JIREN is super good. This feels low, but welcome to 2024 Dokkan, where every release is a banger. Every release is a god. Let's just actually grab the next couple as well. Then we grab Tech UI. My mouse stopped working. I gotta buy a new mouse. I keep forgetting. In Evolution Blue Vegeta, and then I finally did do this. So we could talk about this group of characters now. So we got JIREN. Let's get Vegeta. Let's get UI. And then where's Tech UI? Tech UI right there. So I feel pretty good about this. I mean, I thought about it a lot back and forth about some of these characters against each other. JIREN is super good. JIREN has no restrictions, but even more so, JIREN has no buildup. None. So JIREN you bring, and JIREN is literally just there to make things easier to win. Because JIREN, again, has no buildup, no restrictions, no nothing. You could just play and focus on other characters, and JIREN doesn't bring the team down. Almost every character needs to build up. I mean, 2 characters directly in front of him, Evolution Blue Vegeta, I struggle with this all the time. The comment section of this video will be filled with people saying getting hit 5 times is easy, and I'm sorry, it's just bullshit. It's not. It's not easy to get hit 5 times. The thing that's good is turn 1, Vegeta is good enough to go in slot 1. After turn 1, he's usually not really. If a boss supers instantly, Vegeta will take a ton of damage. But, Vegeta has to build up by being hit 5 times to get his revive. And then he has to attack, what is it? It's 5 times, right? Yeah, he has to attack 5 times in order to fully build up his stats. No, it's 4. It's 4. 4 times in order to fully build up his stats. Right, so he's got that. UI Goku needs to dodge to build up, right? And then your HP needs to be below 70%. I feel like I want to say Vegeta has an easier revive to get than UI Goku, but I always am getting UI Goku's revive and not Vegeta's. I don't know. A lot of times, because the thing is UI Goku's could just be right away. The earliest possible turn you could get Vegeta's is turn 3. If you would have him turn 1, slot 1, get hit 5 times, you could do it on turn 3. So many times I've revived a UI Goku on turn 2. Right. Like it's a common thing. So I don't know. Tech UI, to be fair, also doesn't really have build up, which is just so, dude, not having to build up, it's so good. It's so good. I just really want to push how good that is to players, that these 2 don't have to build up. Right. Now, UI Goku's a bit turn restricted, I guess, which JIREN doesn't have. And JIREN's transformation is just literally next turn to go into a standby is great. JIREN, most of the time, is going to be a slot 2, slot 3 defensive wall. In his standby, he could go in slot 1. The 100% damage reduction you could have in slot 1 is way more valuable than his attack support in slot 2. But this guy, unlike Oob, remember, JIREN's design is very similar to LRS Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Unlike Oob, JIREN is not limited to 1 turn with his defense. Oob only has 1 turn, right, with the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku character. Standby JIREN, you have multiple turns. You could take advantage of his power. And then obviously he's a, Giga Crusher once you go into his full power mode. He also has the Scouter as well. This is one of the most worthless abilities I've ever seen. It's just... it just, you finish most of these fights so fast. It's obviously intended for Goku and Frieza. It's intended that you get to transform Jiren turn 1 against Goku and Frieza. They super you right away with their 50% super attack rate. They debuff you, but then Jiren overwrites their debuff with his, 50% attack. Like, that's the reason he has it. Jiren is designed specifically for that fight, clearly. But for the most part, that ability doesn't really work so well, I've found. Now, Tech UI, at literally the 2 hardest fights in the game have dodge canceling. That is designed around you having UI Goku's domain out that cancels dodge canceling. So, I mean, this guy is so important. Unlike Broly and Gogeta, Tech UI Goku's base is not uber weak. Broly and Gogeta will get you killed in base. Tech UI, to be fair, I mean, Tech UI does a lot too, but Tech UI is way stronger in base than Broly and Gogeta. Tech UI can go slot 1 consistently, right? Typically, if Tech UI does not dodge the super, he will die. But, I mean, under certain super extreme circumstances, he can potentially survive, even if he doesn't dodge. But it is very, very rare. This guy, obviously, is tremendous. His domain is just so big for all these, like, super class characters. Getting this shit up, it just gives you so much extra damage. This domain, or, by the way, Broly's domain, too, both of these domains could be so big towards hitting the damage threshold, the 10 million right there. Having one of their domains up to give you that extra juice to get above that 10 million number, so you're just constantly damaging them and not doing 0, is quite big. So we're going to factor that in. Now, AGL UI Goku, I've been fighting off putting him in front of Vegeta for a while. You guys, like, watch a bunch of these top 10s. I've been saying, like, yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way, but I don't know. It's not, it's just, at a certain point, I gotta just go by what my eyes are seeing. Like, I feel like the 5 hits should be easier, but I revive, 9 times out of 10, we revive with both of them on the team. It's UI Goku, right? UI Goku, with the knowledge of how his dodge works, it's so tough for him to get caught. He needs to get hit basically that first hit, or he's very likely not getting caught. This stacks. First chance, 77%. Dodges once. Now it's 84%. Dodges a second time. Now you have 91% dodge. It's crazy. It's crazy. I actually, like, this guy is so nuts. And then him being a 7 out of 7 linking partner with Transform Tech UI, it's just, this guy triple supering basically annihilates Goku and Frieza in one volley. His triple super. Like, it's so crazy. It's nuts. That's huge. And turn 1, he has 100% dodge. So it's like all these fights that are super crazy at the start, right? Them, Cell Max, STR Kid Buu potentially, right? Maybe Trunks, global players, you guys have the Trunks fight now. When Trunks has, you get UI Goku in slot 7 or something like that. Trunks is immediately locking, right? I mean, that could be a thing in the Goku versus Frieza fight. UI Goku turn 2 up against 17 with his lock, and UI Goku's 100% dodge. It really pays to be elite right away. Something that both UI Goku and Vegeta have, right? I mean, JIREN is no bitch in slot 2 or 3, turn 1. JIREN is very good. This classic character, like, again, we have JIREN at 6, but it seems criminal that JIREN is 6. But it's not. It's like, dude, even Broly, like, years past, a character at like 9 or 10, it's like, yeah, they're good with a ton of flaws and shit, usually, right? Like Metal Cooler was in one of these top 10s, like, when he first came out. Broly at 10, I feel like, is better than, like, most of these top 10 LR lists we've ever done. Broly at 10 is better than the characters that have been at, like, 3 and shit like that, I feel like. Like, it's like this, we've never had, like character, like, every release is just so good. Like, they can make this ridiculousness. And, I mean, I don't know, maybe, I mean, all my units are rainbow, and not all our units are link level 10, and we don't have the equips and stuff, sure, man, I guess, but, like, this fight, as crazy and as toxic as it is, we have the horses to deal with this. Now, the top 2, I saw no reason to change this. Cell Max and Beast Gohan. Now, we should talk about both. I mean, I guess both. I see, I mean, to be fair, I mean, no offense to Dokkan Twitter, I don't want to put people down too much in terms of like their knowledge and stuff like that, but I just really, the strength of my opinions are born from playing the game all day, every day, nonstop. That's Dokkan is actually I'm not exaggerating. I'm playing Dokkan all day, every day, right? So it's like I'm seeing all these situations. I'm seeing all these characters doing all these situations. Beast Gohan is pretty much just always unanimous won by everyone. I don't really see pushback on that. So, I mean, we'll talk about him in the new fight in a second. Cell Max, bro, I'm seeing, like, again, Dokkan Twitter, I don't want to go too crazy, but, like, I see Cell Max at, like, 6 and shit. And it's like, bro, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I thought you guys love damage. I thought it's damage, man. Is that not what it is? I don't understand why everyone loves damage so much. Do you not see what the fuck Cell Max does, man? While being he's baby Beast that does more damage. Like, it's like he's Beast with a weaker leader skill, more damage, but less defense. That's what Cell Max is. Although, Cell Max's active is much better for Goku and Frieza than Beast's is. Now, like Cell Max, man, like he just does his thing. It's crazy. He destroys Goku and Frieza. He obliterates them. Now let's talk about Beast and Cell Max versus Goku and Frieza here. So, the first turn of Goku and Frieza, Beast, you pop his active, he's effortlessly, it's no problem. Now, when they fall below 50% HP, Beast can be killed even with his active skill up by Goku and Frieza. Because again, they're supering for 5.7 million. They super for 5.7 million when their HP is under 50%. This is likely to be deep enough in the fight as well, where Beast Gohan's intro is gone. And depending upon how the fight has gone, just because someone doesn't have this up at the end of the fight does not mean they're bad, because ding, 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 there's a locking boss, which means, Beast could, end up floated off, the situation of the fight could happen, and then you end up on Goku and Frieza, and Beast has no build-up. In that situation, you wouldn't be able to use his active skill. Beast, if he's got his intro up, and he has this up, he's tanking even their 6... Oh, I just got a silver equip. 3 additional, 4 dodge. Oh my god. That equip I just got shows that what I'm saying is right. That's proof. Proof. All right, anyway. Yeah, if Beast has this up plus his intro against Goku and Frieza, he will tank even their 6 million super. But, I mean, if he doesn't have this, right? If he doesn't have this, he could take damage. That's for sure. But Beast Gohan still continues to dominate the rest of the phases. The scariest part of this fight is these two. And these two are not able to hurt Beast Gohan, right? Like, he's still there protecting you. The other thing, too, is what you should probably think about doing with Beast Gohan in this fight. Utilize his active in these two phases. And then Beast against this boss, slot 3, he won't be hurt. But you're definitely, it depends on the situation. If they're under 50% HP and Beast doesn't have a lot of his, different damage reductions up, they will kill him. So at that point, you're going to need someone else, maybe AGL UI Goku in slot 1 or something like that. You slide Beast to slot 3. The normals will not mess Beast up, but the super under 50% HP certainly can. But yeah, so there's that. I don't, here's this. Oh, I didn't pull up my last tier list. Let me grab that real quick. All right, guys. So this is where I would kind of fall in with the, the tiers like this. Again, yeah, I just what Cell Max and Gohan are doing. Now, remember, whereas Gohan under 50, I mean, it's a very specific situation, but I have seen it happen to a lot of people with this Goku and Frieza catching Beast, even with his active up. And remember, Cell Max doesn't play that shit. Cell Max has, the 12 million defense. He's tanking it, no problem. And remember, as long as you're using Cell Max correctly, I mean, this is something these restrictions don't really bother me so much with this character. Maybe for other people they will. I mean, certainly having no restrictions like JIREN, no restrictions, no build up is very good. But at a certain point, you do have to just respect the raw power and raw defense that Cell Max is carrying. But Cell Max does have many hoops you have to jump through, right? Where Cell has to get hit, he has to attack. And I saw people confused about this. It's probably going to happen a lot. It specifically needs to be the entire same rotation, one of the three. You can't mix and match. You can't run Broly, Kid Buu, and Cell Max together or something like that, right? Like, it's got to be, you got to do one solid team for Cell Max, which, I mean, certainly can limit, team building a bit, but Cell Max's power more than makes up for it. Right, again, Cell Max is, like, the single most, like, his active skill turn. Well, actually, I guess, I mean, he would probably handle Goku and Frieza even more so than Gogeta, now that I think about it, because of this. Remember, Goku and Frieza, as I pointed out, they have one of the highest super attack rates in the game. The intent is they always super attack you right away, and then they lower your attack to get you below the threshold. That's the obvious design with this boss. Cell Max, that just gives him an extra super. Right. And remember, this should work the same for Jiren and Cell Max. Just the boss targeting Cell Max or Jiren will be enough to give... Cell Max gets the additional super. Jiren gets the permanent 50% damage, or 50% attack. Both of those... A dodge would trigger both. So, that is very good. So, for Cell Max, could active skill, huge damage nuke on Goku and Frieza. Goku and Frieza super, the attack is drawn towards Cell Max. And then you could dodge it, dodge the attack debuff, and still get the additional super. Right? I would recommend full crit on Cell Max, but dodge secondary is very cheeky and works very well. And yeah, Beast... just continues to dominate too much of the game, and in my opinion, the real problematic phase is Beast dominates. Truly, he can be caught against Goku and Frieza, for sure. But it is very specific. And this ability, by the way, procs at the start of turn. This does not activate midway through the turn. It's a start of turn ability. So the turn starts, they're under 50%, you know they have the damage. Which, again, is a true... double to their damage, by the way. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's not actually like 5.7. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, there we go. Yeah. Again, please, the French can quote tweet me. Apparently the Italian community hates me now too. Bro, I get, people hate Dodge just that much. But please, the French, you could quote me, call me big fat idiot. The Italian community, quote me, call me big fat idiot. Whatever, man. Knock yourselves out. I feel good about this one. Now, again, quite a bit of movement from a lot of these different spots between, obviously, Jiren's introduction here, as well as the new fight. As you guys can see, we moved a lot of different characters around in these spots. But I feel like this list reflects pretty well the state of the game, how characters can perform in this new toughest fight, stuff like that. So Broly lives to fight another day. We're moving into the worldwide download celebration. So, I mean, bro, like, is Jiren gonna be like... is Jiren gonna be at 10 in 2 months? Could you imagine Jiren being 10? Bro. And, I mean, we might even get easy A's during worldwide. So... it's just, it's, again, listen to what I'm saying. Broly at 10 is not a slight to him. It's not a diss. Every character that comes out is a banger right now. People are unable to grasp that. Like, they're just unable to. Every character that's coming out is a god, right? So, it's like, the top 50 right now, well, it's probably not that deep, but it's all these characters coming out are good, man. So, let me know what you guys think. I love you guys. Kisses. Mwah! And I'll catch y'all next time.